Eyes on the scoreboard, feeling the thrill. Moneyline show where I call for play still. Betting on the underdog, watching the odds rise. Smart choices, big wins, that's how we survive. The line shifting fast like the wind at my back. Reading the game, making my pick never lack. Feel the rush when the clock ticks, the tension mounts high. Moneyline show where every day can turn to sky. Moneyline show.
All right.
Welcome to 97.9 Unity Radio. This is Moneyline, and Coach Schumann has gotten out of control with his AI creation of music videos. I love it. And we also have the voice of reason, Frank Cristiano.
I thought it was good.
Wasn't bad,
Dave,
right?
I thought it was good.
Yeah, Dave, it's just wow. You're such a talented producer, and you're so great with technology. Like I don't know where to go. That's amazing.
Had a little jazz in. I think Ernie would like it.
Yeah.
So
It's not as good as Billy Braves Brew, but
Right. Yeah.
I wanted to start with David. Did you have a good Memorial Day weekend? You had a showcase. Was it Friday?
I didn't have anything this weekend.
You didn't?
No.
I thought you said you had like a flag turn, or no, it was Wednesday. You did. Didn't you have something last
I had
Wednesday?
a baseball game yesterday.
Oh, baseball.
The day before.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a couple of baseball games this weekend.
That's what that's what I was thinking. How did Troy do?
Good, really
Yeah.
good.
Good time. Parents still love you.
Well, I only coach one team. I'm a spectator. The other team, I'm an assistant. I'm the first base coach.
I had
pounds when they come down the first.
Yeah.
The ball passes, you take off and you steal. Ball's popped in the air. If it's less than 2 outs, you wait and see if that ball drops. Ball's on the ground, you're sprinting. That's my
it.
steps every single time. I say
Basically, all you also say to us basically is like, back, on the pickoff moves. Back.
So David, I was at UConn and they started my filming, and Coach Baylock said that the 95 team is being honored this year, which you were a part of.
That's right.
You're going to have to go back to UConn. I'm so excited.
I was the Will and Sam linebacker on that team.
Yeah, was that your senior year?
No.
It was 96. Okay.
Redshirt junior year. That's my first year linebacker.
Okay. Well, I thought that was exciting for you that you get a chance to go back.
No, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That'll be the third time I've been honored in my athletic career.
Yeah, that's nice. I haven't been honored once.
You got to do something to get an honor. I mean,
I should.
You can't just show up. There's no participation trophies at that level.
No, there isn't. There is no participation trophies.
Did you let UConn win a senior an award or anything? Oh.
Yeah, I was the MVP.
You were?
Most valuable putts.
Team MVP.
You were team MVP?
But it was given to the entire senior class.
Oh.
Because of all we went through.
Oh.
What was the term?
I got the Kendall Madison Award when I was a senior.
Oh, my God. Really?
Yep.
That's a big award.
Yep.
They
told you I was pretty good.
We were part of the transition from moving from one to 1A.
I got you. That was that first year.
Coach Etzel beat us up pretty good.
Yeah. I got you. Good.
So yeah, you're going to be honored. That's exciting.
You've been honored. Do you want to know what the 3 were?
I'm going to hear it anyway.
I'll tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you. I was in named to my high school Hall of Fame as a football player.
See, that's what I was going to say to Frank.
We don't have a Hall of Fame.
Why don't we have one?
I already asked the prior athletic directors. They don't want to do that because
bullshit.
Because then it's a how do you evaluate them? Who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? What are the numbers? And it's just it is
really
bullshit.
Why.
That's why
every high school has one.
Every high school has one except us because they don't want any controversy.
Then they don't honor teams. They don't bring
It's
teams
nothing.
back.
Nothing. They don't care. Athletics is the last thing on this high school's fucking agenda.
Well,
So
in
that
New
was-
York. New
That
York.
was 2005. This past year, I was honored as a coach from
That Red Hill school.
Hall of Fame, the different high school, not
Oh.
my high school, a different high school. That was the thing I had to go to, and now UConn.
Yeah. You're going to be honored there. That's great.
That would be nice.
And I got to go to Maria Conlon's Hall of Fame induction ceremony. The Greater New Haven Women's Basketball
Yes.
Hall of Fame.
You told me
And-
about that. She's a great
Yes.
athlete. Great
Yeah,
athlete.
there were-
What other
well,
sport did she do in high school? She did another sport, right? She a basketball player?
Yeah. But she played basketball with the boys until like 9th grade.
Oh wow,
And she was 4-time named All-State, which I couldn't believe.
that's incredible.
And what drove me nuts was she had more accolades than anyone else who was inducted. But when they told her on her bio just to list her high school stats. So that's all she did. Everyone else listed like everything they've done in their lifetime. So it's like Maria was by far the greatest player there to be inducted. And they didn't say anything about UConn, the national championships, anything. So I was about to take the mic from the MC and start yelling. I didn't like
All this was back when women won awards for women, right?
This is only the second year of the award, the Hall of Fame. Can you shut the music off? You're still playing the music in the background.
Am I? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, it's
I didn't
awesome.
know
No, it's okay. It's a background. I love it.
I wanted to
He hates
ask.
I know.
I do hate it. Yes, I do. I wanted to ask
No,
because
I know what music you like.
I don't like any music.
There it is. We're bringing back old memories. This was in the old gas station glory hole days of Steven's career.
Oh, I love a nice glory hole.
Yeah.
Right.
He'd go to the local Citgo gas station and pick up
It
a
was a mobile.
steak,
It
mobile
was a mobile, yeah,
gas
nice-
station.
Nice mobile.
Pick up a nice steak and pepper sandwich,
Yes.
and then pop into the restroom real quick for a glory hole visit.
Where Bubba is waiting.
So I wanted to ask about, because Maria loves basketball and I got to stay with Maria, which was fun.
Okay.
We watched the Knicks Pacers
Ooh.
and
Last night's game.
I watched the first couple ones, but the first game was just unbelievable. Did you watch the first game, Frank?
I watched all of them.
Blew the lead.
They blew the lead. The shot that went in, I've never seen anything like it. It hit
Halliburton
the
shot,
thing, it
right?
went up, and then it
Halliburton
went in.
and by a millimeter, it was counted as a 2-pointer, so they had to go
Because
to
the foot was
overtime.
on the line. Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
So-
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, you got to watch an entire replay of that last night as the Knicks did it to Indiana.
Yes.
This playoffs, these entire
wild.
playoffs, 2 20-point blown leads by the Celtics
Yep.
in round 2.
The
The
Knicks blew the lead in 2 minutes.
Knicks blew it.
It was a record.
Indiana 25-point lead,
It was a
and
record.
they blow it last
Yeah.
night. I mean, it's unreal. Minnesota
Beat Oklahoma.
loses the first 2
Yeah.
soundly at Oklahoma, and then
Rally.
comes home and beats Oklahoma by 30. I mean, the swings are just huge. I don't think home court has that much of an advantage.
No. What I've noticed, I don't watch the NBA, but the only thing I notice is it doesn't seem like anyone plays defense. It seems like
I disagree. Not now.
well,
Not
the
in this,
scores are it's so high scoring.
but no, it's not high scoring. The
Well, I
last
know.
night's score was what 106, 100. Okay,
I mean,
that's,
that's what I'm saying.
20,
They're
that's
all
25 points a
it's
quarter.
all
That's not a
six
lot.
figures.
That's not some are under that. That's not.
But most college games don't get
Yeah, but
into the 100.
College is a short. It's 2 halves.
Yeah.
There's more zone defense. It's harder to
It's
score
harder
in
to
college.
score. Okay.
There's not a lot of man. Now the pros are starting to morph into more complicated zones. I can tell
Yeah,
you that much.
they do that.
It's really fascinating to watch sometimes what they're doing. I mean, realistically, if you watched the beginning of the series with the Knicks, Mitchell Robinson was basically doing a full court sprint around the horn
Yeah.
trying to defend player after player as the ball gets swung.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of intricacies that they're using right now. But right now, you're watching probably some of the best defense there is.
Really?
And the reason it is also is because the refs are allowing to play. In
Yes,
the playoffs,
the
the
refs-
refs swallow the whistle
I mean, it would.
in the NBA.
a lot of
They
physicality.
swallow the whistle. NFL is different. Hockey is different. But when it comes to the NBA, the refs swallow the whistle in the
They let 'em
playoffs
go.
and they let those guys go. So
Yeah, there was
I
a
think
ton
you're
of
seeing,
contact.
you're seeing really actually. I think decent defense. There are a couple of weak defenders out there. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns is a weak defender. He's a scoring machine. He had 20 last night in the fourth, but he's a weak defender. And McConnell for Indiana is a little tough because he's so small. It's tough getting a lot of defense out of him. But basically, I've seen guys play really hard and intense now because it's playoff time.
So is it 2-2 for both series?
No,
What-
it's 2-1.
2-1.
Indiana's
There's
up
a game
2-1
tonight.
and
Yeah.
Oklahoma City's up 2-1. Yeah, right now OKC and Minnesota are playing at Minnesota. I think they're in the second right now.
Yes. Okay. And Maria had predicted that it doesn't matter. Oklahoma City's going to win it all. Do you
Well,
believe that?
here's the thing, and she's most likely right. That's the best team right now out of the 4 teams that are left on paper. The thing is this: how bad does the NBA not want Oklahoma City against Indiana for your finals,
kill their rating,
or Minnesota against Indiana?
Yeah.
New York,
they need New York.
NBA office is praying the Knicks win to get some kind of viewership.
Yeah.
For the NBA finals.
Well, I mean, didn't Denver win it last year?
I did Denver. No, Denver won it 2 years ago.
Okay, who won it last year?
Celtics
That's right, Boston.
and Boston. People
And that's-
watch
and
Boston.
that's what they like.
People watch Boston.
Yeah, the NBA's all.
And it was against Dallas, so you had Luka Doncic there too. So there's an interest as a high-profile player. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a very high-profile player, but not high enough viewership-wise, I think. The other teams, Anthony Edwards is a high-profile player, but nobody wants to watch Minnesota. Who cares?
No, I agree with you.
But now the Knicks, you're talking about the Knicks. You're not just watching the Knicks.
No, that's
You're
history.
not just
right
watching
there.
Jalen Brunson.
You
You were watching
Spike
former
Lee,
players in the
White
stands,
Walker,
all
Clyde
the
Frazier.
celebrities in the stands. You've got something there that can attract just more than the average NBA fan or the diehard NBA fan, I should say.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was fun. It was fun to watch, though. It was absolutely fun to watch. The other question I had, Dave, what were your thoughts on the Dallas Mavericks getting the first pick in the draft, having the lowest percentage of the lottery, and now they're going to get Cooper Flag as like a reward for trading Luka?
Oh, that's part of the conspiracy theory.
Isn't that it is a conspiracy theory because they do it in hiding now. So you can't trust it. They allegedly have a supervisor for it. I think it's fixed all the way.
You think it's fixed?
100%.
So you think that because they lost Luka Doncic, they wanted to reward
I think
that?
Adam Silver rewarded them because Dallas has been a good market. And they said, okay, we're going to give you the number 1 pick. You get Cooper Flag, a generational player who's better than Doncic, who's probably going to turn them around as long as Kyrie comes back healthy. Oh, here we go with the yawning.
Listen, I'll
Did
tell you
say
right now.
better than Doncic?
No, he
I
said
think
Doncic. He said Doncic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't follow the NBA.
I don't.
You don't know
I
three
don't.
players.
I don't. I think the NBA
Here's
is a
the
joke. I don't
thing.
like the NBA.
Here's where the conspiracy theory started. It was years and years ago. It was back in the early 80s when the Knicks, with a less than 4% chance, I think it was a 5%
They
chance,
got Patrick
ended up
Ewing.
getting Patrick Ewing in the first pick. And
Yes.
it was always the grumblings were that the NBA office wanted to send Ewing, the best player at that time in the draft, to
a
New
big
York.
market. Yeah.
To a big market, and New York needed it because they were terrible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot there. I could see that happening.
Well, they used to do the ping pong balls. They do it in front
but
of
why
everyone.
Dallas? Why do you think that they would
When
give?
went to the Knicks, that was the Bernard King era.
Correct. And Bernard King and no one else. That was
No
the
one.
problem with the Knicks.
Bernard
They
King
had-
would score like 30 points
I
a
used to
night
watch-
and no one else.
I watched the Knicks then, because MSG was on our local affiliate, package, so we get to watch the Knicks all the time. And I'm a Celtic fan, but I always watch the Knicks, and they basically didn't have much.
So no, I think because Dallas has been a good market for the NBA. That's why.
I don't think Dallas has been a good market at all.
They
I mean,
have been.
they won an
They've
NBA
won
champion.
They won
one
They
championship.
won a couple.
They won one championship.
They've won more than one.
They've won one. They won one with what's his name from Germany
years ago.
Yeah, with no, it's like 2012 or something like that, or 13
with Dirk Nowitzki.
With Nowitzki, yeah.
I thought they won two.
Won one.
Okay, well,
but Dallas is not a big basketball market for.
No, but now they have Paige Beckers, and they're going to have Cooper.
It doesn't matter. The WNBA is useless. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Look at the news today. Caitlin Clark is out for over 2 weeks because she's got a quad pull.
I know.
The WNBA is finished. What do we do?
Yeah.
What do we do? Right. What do we do?
That's what I was going to mention.
Because they allow her to get beat up every night by these.
They're getting killed. She's getting killed out there.
Yeah, they just killed their own superstar. They're idiots. The WNBA.
Right. Exactly. It's just they don't.
It's not like the NBA would protect LeBron.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
That's what I'm saying. The NBA would. That's what I'm saying. The NBA would protect LeBron.
Yeah,
WNBA is not protecting Caitlin Clark.
Nope.
No, they just let her get thrown to the wolves and eaten alive.
Here you go, buddy.
She gets beat up.
Fine. But they've been in more. They've played in several championships.
No.
Yes.
No. Two. They won one. They lost one. That's it.
Who's that?
You're thinking about the San Antonio Spurs.
No, I know
who have won 5 championships out of 10 years played.
I thought Dallas won like 3.
No.
Dallas won with Nowitzki.
That's it. One time.
Yeah.
One time.
And they came back. It was a comeback. Right?
Time.
Weren't they down 4-1 and they came back?
No, 4-1 they would have lost the series. It's a 7-game series.
They were down 3-1 and
I don't think so. I don't think they were down 3-1, but no. I don't think
I was actually there. I went to a game.
Did you really? That's awesome.
You know why?
You had tickets
you had a camp or something going on?
There. Because many years ago, I was in a lawsuit, which I won. My lawyer was.
You had a lawsuit in Dallas?
Yep.
For something that happened at camp?
Yep. And
oh my God.
I won.
It went that far?
Oh yeah. It was down in Dallas.
So you got to say what happened.
A kid got injured. And
but you have insurance for that.
Yeah, it was a serious injury. They didn't want to take the insurance. They sued. They lost. But it was 3 years before it went to trial.
Well, the kid wouldn't take the insurance?
No, they wanted to go after the whole shebang.
Really?
And they lost.
But that's impossible because they have to sign the waiver before they compete, right? Don't you have? Isn't there like a waiver they sign?
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with whether people can sue or not, though.
No.
Well, they can sue, but you're going to lose.
A waiver most of the time is useless.
It's useless.
I can tell you this from owning a mechanical bull. Yeah,
it is. So it's more.
Wow.
Frank is actually right. It's good to have, but really, basically, it comes down to
go over it.
Wow. Yeah. They'll break it down.
It comes down to negligence. Were you negligent? Were you not negligent?
Exactly.
Turns out, obviously, we were not negligent. We won, and
but you had to pay for court fees and all that.
No, my insurance company.
So they hired the lawyer and everything, and so the insurance company didn't.
I had a great lawyer. My lawyer, he was an old Texan.
He probably had a gun.
I'm not kidding. Cowboy hat and all. And great guy, by the way. Just a great lawyer. I mean, if I was probably 2011, I was 37. I would say he was probably in his mid-50s, so he's probably still alive. He's probably
he was younger. So how long was the trial?
It was 2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks? They called that many witnesses?
Yes.
Oh my God! So
it was like a, you know how we do the true crime?
Yes. We should do your case.
This was like it had gotcha moments. It had all kinds of stuff. Now it was a civil trial. It wasn't a.
It was civil, not criminal, right? Civil's different. Civil, there's a much lower burden of proof.
Correct.
So for you to win is huge.
Correct. So
what was he asking for financially?
I think it was 4.4 million, something like that. Yeah.
4.4 million. So they were like based on estimated earnings that this kid was going to go to the NFL.
I can't remember the exact details of it.
That's unbelievable.
But I lived in a residence inn for 2 weeks.
Right. Were you worried?
My father was my acting CEO at the time while I was gone.
Yeah. While your camps were going on.
Which, by the way, the guys that worked for me at the time, we had like at least 10 guys in the office. They said they liked him better than me as CEO.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
They enjoyed him better than me, which meant he wasn't cracking down on you guys working. That's what it meant.
Well, losing money left and right.
He's still coaching track. Right. He knows what he's doing.
I love my father as CEO.
Yeah. So you must have tried to settle with the kid for 3 years.
No. Well, I don't know. I can't remember how the insurance company did it, but they did offer something.
Because insurance companies mostly will settle before that.
We went to arbitration, so I had to go down there. I want to say a year earlier.
That's usually the first part.
We went to arbitration.
And what did the arbitrator
say? I learned a lot. It was one of the best learning experiences of my life.
What did the arbitrator say?
The arbitrator tried to get a settlement, and my lawyer told me. Now, you think about it, like I had never been in this situation in my life, So I was
who'd you have, Matlock?
He was like Matlock. He was great. We go in there.
No, he had like JR from Dallas.
Yeah.
The arbitrator wanted to brought us all into a room, and I can't remember exactly what it was.
Was the kid that good?
I was like, "Hey, let's settle." You know what I mean? Like I don't know, what. But my lawyer was adamant that it
was just an injury. It was an accident.
You did nothing. After obviously I went when it first happened. You have to give them. He said you did nothing wrong. Blah blah. I was more nervous. He went. He knew. I remember they basically started. He said, I remember this distinctly. So they came in and they asked for $1 million as a settlement.
Yeah, I would have walked right out.
My lawyer, this guy was fucking unbelievable. He goes, "We'll give you 25,000."
Yeah. He's smart. Yeah, that was his counter.
They go and they say, "We'll take 950,000." He
goes, "I'll give you 10,000.
We'll give you 25,000." "We'll take 900,000."
We'll give you 25.
We'll give you 25,000. I guess that must have been what they valued the
claim. Yeah, that's all it was for.
The bills.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And we sat there for hours. He waited and waited.
So they didn't give in.
Go to court, and then we went to court, and then we went and they tried to settle with him. I want to say before court, and he just kind of was like, "Get out of here."
Yeah, you can't. That's not worth 7 figures. It's not worth 6 figures.
He's just like, "Get out of here." As we went to court, but there was all kinds of aha moments. There was like
2 weeks
moments.
for that. I can't believe
there were gotcha moments, dude.
So they must have flew in.
They brought up there was one of the moments that I think hurt them. It was something. It's it's a little hard for me to remember exactly, but it was something with his grades. This I remember
academics. Yeah.
So his grade. So they were trying to prove that he had because the injury. They were trying to prove brain damage, and so they pulled up. They pulled up his grade and tried to say that his grades had gone.
Did you launch him out of a cannon? Did you launch him out of a cannon, Dave?
Is that one of the drills?
He tried to say that his grades had gone down, but here's the crazy part: his grades actually went up. So My lawyer was they skewed it. My lawyer was able to get all the evidence.
They didn't do their due diligence.
The kid was actually improved over the years as a student.
Yeah.
So that was one of the moments when you saw like the jury like.
Yeah,
like this is obviously a money grab. You know what I mean?
So it was a head injury.
Was the kid's attorney the same attorney as in My Cousin Vinny before Joe Pesci takes over? Like,
well, that was another big moment when we were sitting in there the day before the trial or whatever. They have like I can't remember, it was the day before.
You have motions, you have preliminary
So we're sitting there and he turns to me, he goes, "Oh, they're bringing in the big guns." So there was some guy who was like a famous
attorney down there.
This group teamed with some guy in Dallas that he's like, he knows he's friendly. He goes, my lawyer goes, yeah, he's friendly with our judge. I'm like, what?
It's probably Rusty Harden.
So they brought in someone that
lawyer was so good. It did not matter. None of it mattered.
I cannot believe it went for 3 years.
Dave, let's get to the important part of the story here. How did you get the Mavericks tickets?
That's what I was trying to get to, but see, one of the little kids.
Steve, this is like Billy the liquor guy.
He had season tickets to the Mavs.
Oh, your attorney did.
Good.
Yes. And after we won the case, he goes, we're going to the Mavs game. And he's like, we're going to go back to he owned like a theater, like not like a like one of those you put plays on and stuff like that, but not a big one, but like a smaller, like, he owned a theater. We went back there. We had a couple of beers. We took a car over to the Mavs game. He's like, this is what happens when you win. He said,
he got you a case of booze and a couple of hookers.
He gets paid a lot too. It went on for 3 years. That's awesome.
He was the man. That guy was unbelievable lawyer.
So do you still have his number?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll give him a call. See if we can go to a game next year.
Ask him how many championships the Mavericks won.
So
that
the
was
other
the
thing,
only one. That one I was at.
Yes,
I can't. That's amazing. The other thing I won
great in that series. I remember it.
Sure was.
Well, they came back. It was a big comeback. It was against Miami.
Probably one of the greatest big man mid-range jump shooters that there was in the game.
I'm telling you, it was against Miami. It was the first year the big
like that one-legged shot, that one-legged fadeaway.
Exactly.
So Doncic now does.
I wanted to ask the other big news of the week. The alleged tush push was not banned by the NFL. They had Jason Kelsey come in and give an impassioned speech along with Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie about the tush push. And he said that he wished every play could have been the tush push because it's safe. And the league is just pissed off because they're good at it. When they showed the numbers in reality, Kansas City had a higher success rate than Philly. Mm-hmm. But the tush push did not get banned. It passed by 2 votes.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that?
Me personally, here's what I'm doing. If I'm an owner, let's say I'm an owner of a shitty NFL team. Okay. What's the crappiest NFL team there is? Throw one out there.
Who's bad right now?
Terrible.
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Okay, I'm the owner of Cleveland, and I've already messed the franchise up tremendously.
Yes.
So I go out and I get the 5 fattest offensive linemen I can. I get the 2 biggest tight ends I can find in football. Then I get a 300-pound quarterback. And I get a couple of 300-pound running backs behind him. I'm going to run this play every play down the field.
That's your plan.
If they don't want to get rid of it, and they don't think it's that much of an influence in the NFL.
But the other teams that try to run it aren't good at it.
No, I understand that. But if I get all these big guys in the day, we're not going to be throwing the ball out of practice. We are going to be foot to foot, trench diving 3-4 yards at a clip.
Now you're going to make it.
With 2 300-pound guys behind him. I'm going to get that Richard kid from Baltimore. I'm going to bring him over. He's a 300-pound back. And then I'm going to get maybe I'll take Derrick Henry and I'll pay him a lot of money just to push the guy forward. Right. And then I'm going to get, I don't know, who's the biggest quarterback in the NFL I mean, I get Josh Allen. Fucking Josh Allen.
Gardner Minshew pretty big.
Nah, he's not that big. I would get Josh Allen. I would waste his throwing talents, and I would just have him go and quarterback sneak the ball.
They run it very well.
Right.
Buffalo.
No, they don't. Tush push. Just tush push.
Yeah.
I don't want any other plays. They can call the play out on defense. They know we're coming. It doesn't matter. We're going to get 3 to 4 yards a clip.
Yeah.
Basically, you could.
Well,
you can't stop
the teams that run it properly.
Yeah, but there's no proper or not to it. You just run it.
Well, there's like the Giants tried to run the tush push. They had 0 success
because the Giants are led by a mass group of idiots.
Well, they are.
Okay,
but I'm saying not everyone.
It's foot to foot wedge blocking.
Yes,
the guy picks a gap left or right. The quarterback on the side of the ball, and 2 guys should be pushing the shit out of him behind him. That's it.
Yes,
and there's nothing new. So now, what does that force the NFL teams to do?
The commission,
no. They said it's good. They're going to keep it in there. Now every NFL team is going to change you'll have Travis Hunter out there, but you're going to have to pass on Travis Hunter because you need the 425-pound defensive lineman from Florida.
Right.
Because you got to stop the tush push.
Right.
Right.
Well, they've tried different ways
and what I'm being is sarcastic. The play should have been eliminated.
You really thought it should have been eliminated?
Any aiding of a runner should be eliminated. You can't aid the guy.
Well,
the guy can aid himself
until 2005 when they changed the rule,
and that's when the rule was misplaced rule. They should have never done that. You should not be able to aid the runner.
Yes.
Okay. You can if you're falling down and you nudge the runner, that's different. That's a call.
But
they
on the actually grab.
But they actually grab, get under him, and they're forcing him over a line or over.
Yeah.
You can't do that. That rule should be eliminated right off the bat.
Wow. Like Jerry Jones said, he just doesn't like it because the Eagles beat them.
Yeah,
and
basically
he's biased because of it.
Right,
and their success rate, like in the Super Bowl, they used it several times against Kansas City, and were not stopped once. Right. So that's why there's frustration about it. Dave, what do you think?
Kansas City's built they have Chris Jones and a bunch of pass rushers.
Well, Kansas City, like I said, had a higher success rate running it than Philly.
But they didn't use it as a primary weapon. Where Philly, if it's 3rd and 1, here it comes.
Well, 3rd and 2, here it comes.
Right.
Yeah,
so Kansas City didn't use it that rate. So I'd like to see the attempts.
Yeah.
I mean, if Kansas City ran it 5 times and they were successful 4 out of 5.
No. They had a high rate of attempts too. Dave, what do you think about it? The tush push being banned? I just think it's a play like someone's good at, like it's running the zone read in my opinion, and they just run it better than everyone else.
I 100% believe that.
Yeah.
I think the play itself,
because it's not 100% success.
It shouldn't be banned because Philadelphia has won it.
Figured it out. Yeah.
Figured it out. What I do think should be the case is that they should not have the ability to bang into the back of the quarterback
and aid him.
So if they're going to, yes, the aiding part, whenever they change that rule so you could aid somebody,
2005.
that rule is a stupid rule because the aiding is what makes the difference, not the initial surge. It's the fact that the running backs or the tight ends or whoever slams into the quarterback
behind them. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Now, if I were to say, is there a safety issue? Absolutely. For the lineman, it's a major safety issue.
But according to the
quarterback, it's actually a safety issue with the guy slamming into you like that. But as far as should it be legal, I think it should be legal as long as they're not able to slam.
It should be modified. Yeah. Well, it's this.
You're saying you're trying to differentiate from a quarterback sneak to actually someone aiding the runner. I agree 100%.
Statistically, there have been no injuries. That's what they said.
That's bullshit.
No, there really hasn't. They're saying
it's
that
a scrum.
It has a higher chance of injury, and that's why they wanted to ban it.
It's a scrum with guys trying to get their helmets lower than the other guy. And bottom line, when you do that, you're banging. Yeah, but in rugby, you're banging your head, or you got that rubber foam thing on your head, or whatever. But in here, these guys are armed with helmets. And
there's a high chance that someone could fall on the
back. And there's not too many 360-pound rugby guys out there.
No,
you know what I mean. So bottom line, there's a lot of contact on there. There's a lot of chance for injury down there. a chance for quarterback injury, like David just said too. So,
but there hasn't.
They got to get rid of the aiding. You can QB sneak all you day. I don't care about that. But when you're pushing the guy through, that's wrong.
So the other rule that did not get passed, which I was mildly surprised at, the NFL had wanted to do straight seeding and eliminate the conference champions getting the home field advantage or the buys or whatever. And the best teams are the ones that get seeded that way. That did not get passed because they felt that it would, they still want the conference champion to be rewarded. So they didn't pass that rule of the seeding. What did you think of that? That would have been like the Vikings would have been, they would have gotten the 2 seed.
Either the NFL is dumber than the NCAA or the NCAA is dumber than the NFL, because the NCAA just did this. The NCAA just did, it's all seeded now. So conference champions doesn't mean Dookie.
Well, it gets you in the tournament.
Yeah. It gets you in the tournament. Well, let's get you in the playoffs. It gets you position in the playoffs for the NFL.
Right. It doesn't give you a number 1 seed.
I think and I don't like that by the NCAA either, because it eliminates a lot of the underdogs. And then that's what people say they don't want to see. Oh, we don't want to see Boise, come in and lose. But bottom line, a lot of those times that's an interesting matchup. That Arizona State matchup early on was interesting in the playoffs. And Arizona State would be eliminated by this new rule in the NCAA. So you're looking at it by the NFL's perspective. You're going to tell grown adults who are being paid a lot of money by rich owners, you're going to play your balls off all season, go kill each other. But bottom line, you may be the last squeezed one in, or you may be out because we're going to go just by seeding and so your conference.
Well, and you're correct on that, because like Boise State, who got in to the NCAA playoffs, was ranked and got a bye, and they lost. Right. And same thing with Arizona State.
Right. They didn't buy,
but I mean,
they got a buy. But I mean,
they didn't win the conference.
But bottom line, you're giving some excitement into the whole picture. Now I'm talking NCAA playoffs. Yeah. But it's the same with the NFL. I mean, a lot of times you may have a Seattle Seahawks team that's like 9-8.
They were 7-9 when they made it.
7-9.
They won a game.
Right. So it gives that underdog aspect. It gives that chance. I like it. I like when I love that mismatch. I love the mismatch, and when the mismatch team comes out.
Well, that's what happened the Vikings were 14-2,
right?
And they had to play wild card weekend, and they lose their first game.
Correct.
So that shows you right there. Dave, what do you think about it? Do you think that the NFL should have gone to seeding in the NFC and AFC with just the best ranked teams, or should the conference champions be ranked higher and get the automatic buys, or the highest seeds?
Well, the tough part is who you play in the schedule. That's like,
that doesn't come into it. That doesn't play a factor, unfortunately.
Right.
They don't look at strength of schedule.
Got to keep the conference winners as
the higher seeds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because everybody plays different teams and different types of schedules.
Yes.
So you're winning your conference regardless of whether your schedule was weak or strong. In my opinion, you won your conference, so you move on. And then I think the wild card should continue to be that best record and whatever their tiebreakers are.
Right.
But I just think that it's I think it's a mistake is there another sports league that does that way? Is that how basketball does it, or?
The WNBA does it. They're the only ones.
No, basketball.
NBA doesn't do it that way.
NBA, yes, they do. They rank the East members 1 to 8, and there's
but isn't it the conference champion?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they rank them. They rank them 1 through 8. Basically, it's 1 through 8, and then 9 and 10. I forget how that goes because they have like a play-in.
The play-in.
But the NBA's 1 through 8 on each side too.
Right.
So, but you still have, but you have Eastern Conference and Western Conference. That's basically what you have.
Right.
You don't have.
But aren't there different divisions within the East?
They also play a lot more games, which allows them to play all the teams.
Right. Right. And the NFL wouldn't be able to do that. Or hey, listen, NFL, just get rid of the conferences. Have an AFC.
They've talked about that too.
Why not?
They've talked about that too. And they meddled with the kickoff in some way too.
They went back.
No, you can only you can onside kick now at any time.
I think the new kickoff is incredibly dangerous. So I don't know what danger they
No. What they changed was before you could only do the onside kick in the fourth quarter.
No. He's talking about in general the new change
I'm
where
talking
they
about the
kick.
new kickoff where
they're closer together. It prevents collisions. That's why they did it.
But no one can make a block.
So they all miss blocks.
All 11 players converging on one guy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
you can make a block. You just don't have enough room. You don't have enough room to it. But
it's a lot tougher.
Just mark the ball at the 30 and play ball. Forget about the kicking.
I was the same way.
Forget about the kicking game. Forget about the kick. It takes away an aspect that I kind of like. I love those kick returns. I like that. But bottom line, you know what? Get rid of this. Put the ball at the 30. Put the ball at the 25. Where you want to start it.
I agree.
And that's it. Punt returns keep. Although I wish if they want to see the NFL is attacking everything the wrong way. Attack the punt return halo rule and get the damn halo back for these guys. It should be ridiculous. It should be 5 yards.
Yeah,
you should be 5 yards away from that return.
Now they get right up in their face.
The guy is out there. Number one, he has no time because the kicks are so high. The punts now are so high.
Yeah,
he's got his eyes focused on that ball way up high.
There's a guy running
there's
a million miles
two
an hour.
Guys. There's three guys running at him at 30 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour, whatever it is, and he has to literally catch the ball, secure the ball, refocus his eyes, and then get going.
His blocking is
before a guy blasts him in the teeth.
Yeah.
If you want to protect guys from injury, protect those guys.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
Window dressing the NFL.
There's no halo. Is there in high school?
They want death. The NFL wants injury. They want those big collisions. Yes, they do, except for the quarterback.
Is there in high school, Dave? For punts, do they have like a 2-yard or 3-yard halo rule?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think there is. There is.
I'm sure there is something.
Yeah,
where I don't remember if there's a halo rule or it's like you can't hit him until he.
But think about it. The NFL wants injuries. They want death on the field. They want gladiators on the field.
No, they don't.
They don't.
They've done a lot for
They protect the
don't
quarterback.
In pads.
No,
do anything.
I'm not talking about practice.
They're not physical.
Why don't they eliminate cup blocking?
I think they should.
But they don't. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
No,
they want gladiators out. They want guys dragging off the field bloodied.
They've changed the cup blocking rule.
Yeah, you can't hold a guy up.
But there's no high lows.
It doesn't matter. They want to protect guys. Eliminate that rule right there. You know why they don't eliminate the rule? They're afraid that there's going to be like a lot of 8-0 games. Because you can't, you can't. It's hard to match up against a guy that's coming full bore at you if you can't cut him once in a while.
Well, they've already, they've made it easier on offenses to score. That's why they're high scoring games. The quarterbacks are throwing for 1 million yards.
But I think the NFL loves that big hit. They say they don't want it. They put a penalty out there. They'll eject the guy. They love that big hit.
But you wouldn't say that the league is less physical now than it was in like the 80s?
I'm going to say it is more physical now than it was in the 80s.
Okay.
More, not less.
See, that's where I disagree. Especially on run plays, because there's so much zone that there's no movement forward. It's lateral. It's just cover them up.
The reason I say it's more physical now is because the guy in the 80s that was running zone blocking, if there was any, they ran power. A lot of man, right?
Yeah.
But let's say there's zone, but the offensive line back then, John Hanna was an all pro at 265.
Yeah, no, and I get that.
So now you got a guy that's 345 running it. Yes, and the collisions, and the guys are in better shape. They're in the gym. They are personal trainers. They're bigger, stronger, faster. The collisions are faster. I think the game is more lethal now than it's ever been.
I just think it's less because there's much more passing. Dave, what do you think? Just because it's pass blocking, it's not as violent as it used to be when it was primarily, the running back was the leader. It was all 1,000-yard. If you were a 1,000-yard rusher, you were a Pro Bowler. And
really, so you don't see a lot of linemen getting keeled back in half because they're getting blown back into another offensive lineman and they blow their knee out, blow their leg out. They get folded. Because they're in a pile up on pass pro.
At times.
It's violent.
At times. I don't think it's as violent as it was back then, especially defensively. the defensive backs, the secondary, were allowed to be much more physical.
I'll agree with you on this. Defensively, they can't be because they don't practice it enough anymore. Everything, like you said, is passing.
There's a 5-yard limit.
Yeah, there's guys that are
there's no bump and run coverage
trying
anymore.
to fill. I'm not talking about run game only. You don't
right.
fill a lot in practice anymore because nobody practices with pads.
You're right. Dave, what do you think?
Which question? Because it's
just about the physicality of the NFL now as opposed to then, the collisions being more violent now, injuries being more proficient now.
Different now. I think Frank's
That's
right
true.
about
Yeah.
you got a lot of lower limb injuries.
Yep.
Knee, ankle, hip. You got a lot of that. We don't have as much, obviously, head injuries.
They've limited concussions, yes.
I don't know. I think in the past, obviously, when you allowed everything, is more.
And that's why they're promoting flag football now.
Oh yeah. Well, the problem with flag football is not that kids love flag football. It's that you're gonna get. How are you gonna get linemen?
Never.
In the NFL down the line. I mean, if every kid plays flag football and every big kid thinks he can catch a ball, which they all do,
right?
And how are you going to transition to kids playing flag football as a big kid?
In our area, I don't know what it is in Jersey. In our area, for years, they just opened this rule up 4 years ago, and my son was going into 8th grade.
Right.
If you weighed over a certain amount in Pop Warner, you couldn't play.
Yeah, I know. Now there's no weight limit.
Now they're unlimited. Now their weights are unlimited.
Right. But think about that right there puts offensive, defensive line development back 30 years.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, it did.
We have a crisis on the offensive line and probably defensive line too, but D line they still can take linebackers and
yes,
you can move them down to D linemen, like you can kind of do, but offensive linemen there's nowhere to go. Like you don't.
Yeah, that's why
I think we have an epidemic on offense of big kids.
I agree.
Plus, combined with social media, if big kids go and play flag football and they're like, I want to catch a ball, and then some coach goes and says, hey, you're gonna be my left guard, and they're like, what?
Yeah,
like, I'll just play flag football.
Yeah.
And then right? I mean,
yeah.
Why am I not going to get any glory? It's different than how it was. I think it's a problem.
Do you think that should be an Olympic sport and NFL players should be participating?
It doesn't matter what I think it is an Olympic sport.
That's what I'm saying.
I did a video too.
Yes. Yeah, and NFL players are allowed to participate. 10.
Yes.
10. And who are the rest of them going to be?
There's regular flag leagues around the country.
Oh, are you talking about flag football is going to be in the I was thinking I thought you meant like regular NFL, regular football.
The Olympics. It could be the Olympics.
It's an Olympic
flag football for Olympics,
and all the NFL guys want to play in it too. Like Patrick Mahomes does, yeah.
And women are going to do that too. Like they're going to women's flag, men's flag.
Yes.
Oh, they better check for Cox in that one. There's no way if you got some transgenders in that.
Yeah.
I know France is going to come out and have 5 or 6 transgenders on the women's team without a doubt.
They like that in France.
France, loving France.
Bring back East Germany and
West Germany. They used to take a lot of steroids.
Every female would be named Inga.
And Czechoslovakia.
Oh my
God!
God!
I remember the '80s, man. Those girls are flying.
Huge.
They might have had some enlarged
some balls and wieners.
There was some horse testosterone flowing in all those women right now.
Balls and wieners everywhere.
Okay. Yeah.
I read a book on.
No.
German
Czechoslovakian transgenders.
These German training,
it's crazy how they trained.
Their training was unbelievable, but they
were ahead of their time.
Same thing in Russia. They measured everything, but it was like the one person I can't think of the woman. I think it was a woman named Marita Koch who was like, I want to say the 400, 200 meter world record holder she may still be, but or maybe before FloJo, she was a world record holder, but she was like. I mean, they had what she was injecting. It was crazy.
The schedule.
Yeah. She had come out and said that she really had no idea
what they were giving her.
She wanted to be an Olympian. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to be a champion. They didn't tell her until years later when her voice became mannish and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't tell
They
her.
were giving her testosterone.
Yeah. She had no idea that she was really getting
Her
testosterone.
clitoris was 4 inches long. They figured, what's going on here?
Well, yeah, it gets kind of like roast beef.
No roast beef. What
No, it
roast
does.
beef?
It turns into roast beef. So the last thing I wanted to ask, sadly, we had it's true. It turns into roast beef. It does. The last thing I wanted to mention, the passing of Jim Irsay. That was very sad.
Did they say what happened? They haven't really released yet, right?
They haven't released the cause of death.
Oh, really?
But, no, but
he was young.
65.
65. He had a lot of struggles with addiction. He was a big philanthropist. He gave back to the city. He would fly fans in for the Super Bowl.
Players loved him.
Players all came out and loved him. I mean, he was a player's coach. He was big into music and guitars.
Yeah.
He played in a band. Just a true renaissance.
He was
man,
the GM under his father.
He was one of the youngest GMs in NFL history. He was 24 years old.
He got killed or something? Or
He died. He just died.
They just didn't say
no.
what.
I'm saying, did they think he got like?
No. I mean, he had a lot of issues.
Probably a heart attack.
He
or
had
something like that.
pneumonia. I mean, he's been sick for a while. Well, I mean, he's had issues on and off.
Okay.
And I think he relapsed like 2 years ago, and they had to Narcan him to bring him back.
Yeah.
But
he's a billionaire, isn't he?
Of course.
Yes.
Shows you money doesn't mean it all.
Doesn't mean shit.
No. And his daughters are taking over. But you heard from Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, all these guys that just loved him. And,
well, probably one of the more relatable owners to players
probably
that you could ever have, because the guy struggled with addiction. He was flamboyant. He threw his money around to help.
Did.
You know what I mean? So bottom line, probably a guy that they can relate to, a little more easier than Jerry Jones.
I think he tried very, very hard to be the opposite of his father. I think because his father was very difficult. His father fired a lot of coaches.
His father was hated by
everyone
by Baltimore for
he
taking the Colts left in the middle of the night with the trucks, with the Mayflower. Remember the Mayflower trucks? Yep.
Yeah. And he was just, the only thing that people complained about was when he made Jeff Saturday the head coach.
Right.
He was the ESPN analyst.
Jeff had a little spot in his heart. He
was 1-8.
Yeah. Well, it happens. What are you going to do?
But sad for the game. Any thoughts, Dave?
I liked Jim Irsay. I thought he was a good owner.
He won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean,
he made Indianapolis.
I didn't know him from a hole in the wall, so.
Well, no, but I mean, he made Indianapolis.
He made it relevant, listen, I loved Indianapolis. When I was an agent, that we go to Elmo. You ever go there?
No, I never been to Indy.
Oh man, Elmo Steakhouse, phenomenal.
Yeah,
phenomenal. Let's say, is it St. Elmo's? Actually, I'm trying to think now. It's the St. Elmo's. Unbelievable place. Indy, fun place.
He turned it into a football town. They had a lot of sellouts, and he was great with the fans. Everyone loved him. It's just a sad loss, and his daughters are going to take over. So
maybe there's hope for you.
Hope to be an NFL owner. Are you to hook up with his daughter? Like where are we going with this?
Daughters.
That's nice. Okay. All right.
Send him a letter.
Yeah.
Tell him you're a big fan. Send him a letter.
Big fan. Okay. All right. Well, another banner money line. You don't have to play an outro music for the voice of reason.
I got to say, I picked last week. I picked the two winners there. I had Indiana in game 1, which I did pick that, and I had Oklahoma City in game 1. So I'm good for game 1. So let's see, we got game 5 coming up for game 4 coming up for Indiana, New York. Yeah, it's at Indiana. Yeah. I'm going to say New York wins that one as well.
I'm going New York too.
Okay, Yeah, and then tonight, Oklahoma City and
I'm sticking
playing.
with Minnesota.
I'll say Oklahoma City on this one too to make it 3-1.
I say OKC.
All right. Well, Maria thinks Oklahoma City, but I'm going against her. I'm going Minnesota.
All right.
How was your time with Maria?
Great. We had a blast. So much fun. Her restaurant's awesome. Her house.
Did you
beautiful.
eat the pizza?
Yeah. Her pizza.
What was the name of the franchise that they brought in again?
It's not. I don't think it's a franchise. It's outstanding. It's brick oven pizza, but they make the single small thin crust.
Yeah.
And they also make Detroit style. They make all different styles, white and red pizza. It was great. Courtney Williams came. Great to see him. Peter Finch came, and Sean Mulcahy, of course, came. So we had a lot of fun. And I met Maria's assistant coach, Stacy. She's going to come on the show with us tomorrow. So it was really a lot of fun. Her wife is great, Danielle. Her daughter. I went to her Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Her family. Her dad is the best ever. Her dad was so cool. He remembered me getting thrown out of the Duke game when I went down there. The second I walked in the game. Yeah, that's a whole nother story. We'll tell that another time. But yeah, he remembered that. So yeah, it was a great trip.
Going the wrong way on the train in Europe.
I told that story to the on my documentary thing.
Did you
couldn't believe that?
You get thrown out of the Duke game because of the glory hole in the men's room at Cameron?
No, because we were sitting with the Cameron Crazies, and one of my friends snuck in a bottle of vodka, and we were beating them by 40. So, for Coach Schumann, the voice of reason, I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. This has been Moneyline on 97.9 Unity Radio. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade, take 2 oranges, throw them right back at